Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Do Ray Lian. It's been so long since I posted a podcast episode, but we are committing to weekly uploads now. And in this week's episode, we are talking to Jaimie Pangan. She's a Filipino composer, and hers is an interesting story. So I came across her story on wheninmanila.com, and they said that there was a Filipino composer who used to work at IBM, and she got accepted to the USC's prestigious film composition program. And I was intrigued. I was like, I have to reach out to this girl. So I messaged her on Instagram, and we were Instagram friends, and I invited her to do an episode of a podcast with me. So in this episode, we talk about what it's like being a freelance composer, her experience in school, the business of music, and what it takes to stay in the business of music. So music mindset, how to deal with self-doubt, etc. So I hope that you enjoy this episode as much as I did enjoy talking to Jaimie. There is no video, unfortunately, so we're going to be, for those on YouTube, we're going to be swapping over to audio only from here on out. All right, here is my conversation with Jaimie Pangan. Hi, Jaimie. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Yay!
Sure.
Palakpakan. So guys, we were talking about earlier before recording, what are Jaimie's favorite K-pop bands?
Super luma na.
As a super OG K-pop, did K-pop influence how you make your music now?
Maybe in terms of melody lang. Generally, like with Asian, kasi, we like songs, in general. So I think one of the things na some composers are struggling with are melodies.
Talaga?
So, weirdly enough, like there's a lot of composers here na they feel like it's easier, like, if it's just like chords. But for me, kasi I like having melody. I feel like, in Asian pop culture, it's, we like songs, so the melody comes from that influence. Yeah, I think that's one aspect of it. Yeah.
I didn't know that sometimes composers have a hard time with melody.
Yeah. There's like two types of composers, like the ones who compose the melody first, and the ones who compose with yung chords muna and stuff. Like if you listen to film scores, there are some na they have a very recognizable melody, and then some that are just like generic lang. And it's like, oh, that's nice. It's a film score, but you don't really remember what it sounds like when you hear it. It's like generic. Alam mo yan. But then, like if you hear other stuff, like for example, Harry Potter, you can sing it. Diba?
Yes, exactly.
Diba? So that's an example lang ng melody.
Or like Lord of the Rings, diba?
Yes. Oh my God. The Lord of the Rings. I actually like Lord of the Rings more.
Really? Why is that?
I like serious film scores, I think. Maybe. John Williams is great. Siya composed for
Harry Potter.
But I like Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings score more than Harry Potter.
Is it the instruments that they use or hindi naman?
No, I won't call it. I guess I'm not really so much into like the grand stuff, I guess. You know how like grand Harry Potter is, and there's like, it sounds so busy and there's always something happening, which is appropriate naman for the movie. But personally, like, alam mo yun, like,
mas heartfelt
sometimes you
Lord
like
of the Rings in a way.
Yeah, for me, yeah. You know how like some people prefer like Taylor Swift and I don't know, Ed Sheeran or something.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? Parang ganun siya for me.
That's interesting.
Certain tastes lang.
And I find it so interesting to hear nga na parang melody. Kasi as a songwriter, syempre isipin mo yung melody.
Melody, yeah.
For what people are singing. So, but it makes sense kasi some scores are ambient lang, right? Like, patong ng chords.
Yeah, some scores are ambient in the sense that it's more like textural. I also do that, but for the most part then, like, I like putting melody then. But there are some film scores in which like mas chord driven siya. Mostly, I guess it's also kind of tricky to add the melody in a way that would fit the chords that's needed. Because when you're composing, you're also like following your picture. You're not composing for the sake of music, but you're composing for the sake of the picture. So like, for example, let's say you're composing some like a scene na may parang cut siya in which you have to transition from, you have that feeling of like there's like this magical thing that's happening, like wonder or something. And normally, like for composers, that goes from like one major chord to another major chord, in which kung dalawang major chord ka, it's kind of difficult to fit like yung melody that you already have in your head.
Is that something that you learned sa masters mo? How was that like? Like, what was your experience there like?
Yeah.
And what is your favorite class?
Oh, favorite class. I have this one teacher. His name is Patrick Kirst. I have amazing teachers, by the way. Like all of them. I like all of my classes in general. But also in general, it's so difficult. Like second week pa lang. I was just like, "Mag ginagawa ko dito?" Oh my God, second week. Ewan ko kasi galing na classmates ko. So it's like, paano ba ako nakaka-step up sa alam ko? Kasi my classmates are amazing. Like, there's some of them na dalawang masters, like in some music degree or whatever, or like my PhD. And some of them have like classical composition degrees. And my degree was in information technology. I never went to conservatory. I did have violin lessons, but that's, violin lessons.
Yeah.
It's not even like conservatory. It's a different kind of, iba yung discipline pag conservatory.
Trained.
But it was difficult, but at the same time, I was like too happy to actually, I was just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
One of my favorite classes was yung sa classes ng teacher ko, whose name is Patrick Kirst. Yung mentioned kanina, he composed for the Kissing Booth sa Netflix.
Okay.
And recently there's a
Kissing
second
Booth too.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
He was the one who was able to kind of just give me more ideas on how to like develop yung composition ko. Kasi he told me like, I can make great themes and like melodies and stuff like that and have good ideas. But my problem before coming to USC was developing those ideas. And he was the one who was able to like help me out in terms of making it better, and basically gave me a bigger toolbox as a composer.
And I was just gonna ask about the developing ideas. As in, parang, would you say it was more like the kind of thing na he gave you maybe different language or different ways of seeing how to compose?
Yeah. He gave me like specific like technical stuff. Yeah, which was a lot. I remember first semester, like I was just like loop the stuff I have. And that's not film score because, as the story develops, the music also has to develop.
Yeah.
So looping is not supposed to be a thing. So he gave me ideas on how to make it better. Time signatures in this part, taking a melody and making it to like the harmony, mga ganon.
Oh, that's nice. And Kissing Booth too, yeah. That's a fun movie. I haven't watched
I
the second one.
haven't watched it, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Like I've seen like samples when he was teaching us stuff, but I haven't watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay lang yun. I'm sure. I don't
He's
know.
amazing. All my teachers are amazing. Like I have some teachers. Game composer Gary Scheinman. He did Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Bioshock. Shadow of Mordor.
Oh.
He did that one too. And Torn. And I had like teachers with animation.
Okay.
I had teachers who did stuff like Sylvester and Tweety.
Oh, really? The TV show?
Yeah, animation. Yeah.
Okay.
Tiny Toons.
So what's the difference between like composing for games, film, tsaka animation? Like, is it super different or not very different?
It differs in some aspects. In terms of genre, syempre, it's just kind of the same. But in terms of like composing for games, you have to know how to do yung looping. Because, when you're playing the game, yung music, it has to, like, just continue playing lang again and again and again until mamatay yung player or something or ma-next level siya.
Yeah, oo.
And sa film, it's very specific to yung picture. You're not just composing, you're composing to the picture. So so kapag nagko-compose ako, I have the picture and
you're watching it.
Yeah, I'm watching it and yung cut like sobrang specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it the game is like if you make the theme, it's just that on a loop as opposed to the film that you have to also be aware of the story of the picture, I guess?
Yeah, yung cuts, follow mo yung movements, yung action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to games, like you just compose based on yung game, like what it's about and stuff. Hindi siya yung if-follow mo. Kasi hindi mo naman talaga ma-follow yung movements ng player, di ba? Pero with film, like you have to follow like yung mga talagang nangyayari.
Yeah.
Sobrang specific talaga.
To the cut,
smallest,
to the transition.
To the frame. To the frame pa.
Minsan ba to the facial expression? You know how sometimes in TV shows, may mga sound effects, ganyan. Oo.
Yeah. It says a lot. Like music can either enhance the story or mislead you if you use the wrong type of music. I don't feel like people even realize how important music is. Like just imagine a horror movie without music. It's not scary.
It's not a horror movie. It's not scary.
It's not scary. It's the music that makes it scary. And when I was composing for this horror film, like the first time I get yung film, titignan ko lang siya and it's just like, this is actually funny. Kasi walang music. Alam mo yun, awkward pa.
So you prepare it for us essentially, right? Because I didn't realize that. You get the film without the music. And then so you're like,
Yeah. You're just like, looking at it. Walang anything, walang music. Parang papanoorin mo na.
So what is that process like when you get take us through, okay, you get the film and then what happens? How do you end up with the finished product?
Usually, I ask for a rough cut or picture lock. So, rough cut means fully edited na siya. May onting mga stuff na kailangan baguhin. Picture lock is, yun na yun. Like,
that's it. No changing.
Wala nang changes.
Uh-oh.
So, it means when I compose music to the cut na talaga siya or frame, whatever happens since it's a film. And then I start to like compose and I talk to the director before I start working, like what kind of music they want. Because sometimes directors have music preferences like, oh, we want this kind of music for this
like a
film.
Kind of.
Yeah. Sometimes I would try to like start and then give them my first draft and see which ones if may anything na gusto silang baguhin. And I ask, before that pala, I have a contract pa. Or anyway, before starting,
important
I have a contract.
Though. Important.
Yeah. Artists should not disregard the business aspect.
Yes.
Of, music. If you're an artist, may business aspect, you have to have a contract.
Yes.
But yeah, that's another topic. Pero, yeah, so I work on it. I finish the film and I deliver the audio file to them. And sila na bahala doon.
So, but do you mix the audio pa? Or they have a separate?
I only mix my music.
Okay.
Yung audio of the
film,
yung dialogue, there's this thing called dubbing stage. The sound engineer, designer gets, and with the director and producer sometimes, yun yung last stage in which they mix everything. So I'm not part of that.
So it's a very independent kind of work, no? I mean, you work mostly on your kind of, in a way. Is it?
Am I self alone? Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so underrated, I think. Oh, wait. Okay. I want to go back to the thought that came up earlier. The music business thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, it's so true. Like, I think a lot of musicians, diba syempre you're concerned about the art.
Yeah.
Your art, the feeling, maybe even the impact of people. But you don't often think about like, how do you protect yourself? How do you get clients? And even to think about it as a business, right? I don't know. Recently ko lang siya naisip na musicians are kind of like entrepreneurs. Kasi
we are.
Diba?
We are. Yeah, we are.
So like how has that experience been for you?
So I've been working for a year in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things. Like I would, from time to time, I would add stuff sa contract ko. Yung mga 50% na upfront because, you don't, you already work for something.
Yeah.
Kasi like for example, when you purchase something, you already pay upfront, like the full amount.
Yeah.
For example, you buy speakers. Diba? As a musician, you buy speakers. If you don't like the product, it's not like you can like
get it back.
Like, get it back or like refund. I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
It's the same with us. Like we exert effort. So they could at least pay for the time.
Yeah.
And if they don't like the product, wala, they hired you and they need someone else pala.
Okay, ganito. Was it something that you, parang, when you jumped into, let's say, the real world of the music industry, right? Was it something that you had to learn as you went along? Or
of course, yeah. I know so many artists, I think they struggle with the business aspect of it because you're just like more into
the art.
But the business aspect is just as important as the art. I think for Nina, I think it's both important. What if you make something and hindi pala na yung copyright mo and stuff, sell mo pala yung copyright mo or whatever for like a very cheap price, and then suddenly your song becomes famous. Oh my god, like ang sakit nun. Just like that one mistake and like alam mo yun, parang lose you money just like that.
And I think parang it's so I don't know if people understand how intellectual property right is like. That's your bread and butter. I mean, your idea, right? So if you don't protect that,
it's your babies.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't protect it in every way you can, voila.
Yeah.
And did you have like sort of a career plan when you started out? I know some people kasi have like a business plan, diba? Kunyari, by 2025, I will have ganyan, X clients, X number of clients. I don't know. I'm just making it up. But like, is it just following your instincts kind of thing?
I would research a lot. I don't really have an exact plan. But definitely I had the plan for like what I was going to do before I came to the US. It's just like, okay, this is the stuff I need to do. I have this visa, blah, blah, blah. And then all of those admin stuff. So that one, syempre, planado na talaga yan. But like, in terms of like this, like the music, if I would find something, I would just like try it out. Like, for example, competitions or whatever. I don't tell myself that at this age I should be like this. I just try to take whatever opportunity arises, or I make my own opportunity. Like with a lot of stuff, I try to always try out some stuff. Like there's like an application for this, blah, blah, blah. I try it out loud. I get a lot of rejections, but I also get great news. Like in the Recording Academy, it was also a long shot. It's like, because basta I try not to limit myself too much. Alam mo yun? Kasi sometimes artists are just like, hindi ko kaya yan kasi nandito pa lang ako sa stage na to ng ko Alam mo yun, hindi ko pa kaya yan. Kasi, I mean, yeah, sure, you have to be realistic. But also, when you're limiting yourself too much, alam mo yung opportunities, you're also like decreasing your opportunities.
Yeah.
I just try whatever. Alam mo yun?
That's a great strategy. I love it.
Yeah.
Just
don't limit yourself. Try everything. Don't limit yourself too much. Just do stuff and you'd be surprised. Because like, for example, ako, like, before applying for USC, nakita ko na talaga yung mga requirements, blah, blah, blah. Sabi ko, shucks, di ko kaya to. Pero pag sinabi mo yun, alam mo, lilimin mo na agad sarili mo. Now, if nag-stick ako dun sa mindset na yun, hindi kaya. Wag na natin try. Alam mo yun. And then the USC thing wouldn't happen. It's a miracle for me because nakapasa ako kasi like I didn't think I would because I saw it's like only a 13% chance of getting it, and it's only 20 students. Only 20 students every year. But you have to keep trying. Alam mo yun, you have to keep taking risks. So, try lang.
Try lang. I love that. And it's so true na parang, I always think that na, you can't do this. I mean, you have that voice in your head, diba?
Yeah, definitely. every artist has
Yeah.
yung voice na yun na, hindi mo kaya yan. Alam mo yun.
How do you talk to it? Kasi ako, I try not to squash it so much. Kasi minsan, alam mo yung sa Inside Out, yung they have
yung
the fear. Diba?
Yeah. Fear.
Parang you have to recognize it and give it a name for it to like relax. Parang kumalma lang siya. So yeah.
Ako, for the longest time, I think I've struggled so much with yung fear and insecurity ko as an artist. And the way I was able to overcome it was to think na whenever I feel those that fear or that insecurity, naisip ko lagi na, it's the enemy threatening my potential.
Yeah.
Na the enemy knows na I have something special inside of me na once that potential gets out, which is, it's gonna be chaotic for the enemy. Parang it's not a good thing that should come out kasi he wants you to stay put, not take risks, and just like, think you're useless and nothing's gonna, make you think nothing's gonna happen in your life and you're gonna fail and you're this and that, blah, blah, blah. That's why he tries to plant those seeds of like doubt and, insecurity and fear.
Yeah.
Pag nafe-feel ko yun, he's trying to like,
destroy my confidence.
Destroy my confidence and my potential.
Yeah.
Na he knows it's precious kasi. That's, a thief won't steal from an empty house.
That's true.
So if there's something special inside of you, that's when the thief tries to steal that thing. So, sa loob mo, he wants to steal that potential. He doesn't want you to flourish, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I had another friend of mine, a singer-songwriter din siya, and she was telling me na, we were talking about this thing also na, that critic in your head, and she was like, yeah, just say it's the enemy nga. Just say it's out to destroy you, and you can't opsoyo. Parang you can't let it. You can't let it.
Opsoyo.
Korean.
Opsoyo.
Don't come near. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm funny. You can't let it opsoyo.
You can't let it opsoyo. Cannot. And para sa anime, you know how in anime they're just like,
dame dayo.
So that's what we'll just say. I'll just say that in my head na lang every time the critic. Opsoyo, dame. No. The enemy.
You have to not let it get into you.
Yeah, that's true. And I think you're such a, wala lang, amazed talaga ako sa'yo. Ever since I read that One in Manila article, I was like, I have to see this person. Yeah. I was so amazed because I was so inspired kasi I remember that was also my insecurity for a long time na parang, di naman ako nag-music conservatory. Alam mo yan, that usual script of like, you can't do it.
Nag-ibang course ka din.
Yeah, nag-English lit ako.
Sobrang layo din.
I know. Pero same with you, like, lessons your whole life. Pero,
studying on your own.
Studying on your own, and you love it. You love it, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's just us that gets in the way of our own.
Yeah.
Diba? And it's just that
the enemy is ourselves.
Enemy is ourselves. Wow. The enemy is ourselves. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but I have a theory na I don't know if women feel that even more. Yung parang shy to go for opportunities. I don't know if it's because are we trained na dyan lang kayo. Or hindi naman. I think it depends on your upbringing. Or I don't know.
Feeling ko, in a way, kasi yung culture din natin is a bit more submissive. Well, kasi in general, like in Asian culture, ayaw niya ng, like, parents discourage you from actually pursuing the arts. So I'm not sure if it's just a female thing. But it's a cultural thing, I think.
Yeah. So did your parents parang, is that why you took information technology as a course?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you make it work now na syempre pursuing the arts, diba? So is it something that like that you think about, or do you have a plan B? I guess is my question. Or you're just like, I'm gonna make this work.
Paano like plan? guilty.
You know how sometimes, okay, so me, I remember when I quit my job, I used to work in advertising. So I quit my job, and then I was part of like a record label na at the time.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, okay, I'm gonna try to pursue the music thing. Diba? Pursue the music thing. And then, parang minsan kasi, I always think na, okay, you shouldn't have a plan B. Meaning, you should just try to make it work. As in, make it as a career.
Wala akong plan B ngayon eh.
Kaya nga, exactly. No plan B.
Music lang talaga eh. I mean,
so how do you make it work? Kasi sometimes ako, I don't know if it's because I'm restless or whatever. Yung parang you think na, maybe this isn't gonna work, so I should try this and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Ikaw, you don't have a plan B. That's good.
I just know I have to make it work. Yun lang talaga. I mean, before I pursued yung film scoring, I also considered yung music business.
Okay.
Ewan ko, baka naisip ko, baka pwede ako gumawa ng talent agency for sunod na BTS or whatever.
Why not?
Ewan ko.
Why not? Yeah.
Naisip ko lang. But then I was talking to this mentor of mine because I have a music mentor. She's one of my inspiration then. When I was in high school, I became close with her. Thus I visit her, talk to her from time to time. And she's one of the people who supported me. No, you should go pursue the arts. You know. And one time I was talking to her about it. This parang sinasabi ko, maybe I could try music business if the film scoring thing doesn't work. Tapos sabi niya, no, kapag nagkaroon ka ng music business thing, how could you, like if you fail sa film scoring, just ginawa mo yung music business, and if you have that habit na parang pa-jump around ka lang dun sa thought na yun, alam mo, you won't really accomplish much.
Right.
You always start from scratch. So I tried to make it work. You make the opportunity. I'm not the type of person kasi who is passive. Like if I want something, I try to work towards that thing instead of just waiting for someone to recommend you. Try cold emailing. I send like hundreds a month. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I cold email. I look for filmmakers. I look for directors. If I know someone who's a director, I tell them, hey, after working na, like, hey, do you know someone else you could possibly refer me to, or just randomly like message people on Facebook. Pero don't be creepy naman na hey, kamusta, ganyan. No, you introduce yourself properly lang.
Yeah.
Just I tell them, hey, I saw your post about this, blah blah blah. And then I introduce myself and then tell them I'm a composer. Here's my portfolio if you want to work with me, blah blah blah. Usually like with those, like you should kailangan matiyagain eh. Usually mga 10% lang yung nagre-reply sa'yo.
For every 100, pero, diba? Parang 10 lang.
For every 100, 10 lang. Pero that's something than nothing.
That's true.
Diba?
Yeah.
So you have to make the opportunity then.
How else aside from cold emailing? Like if you were to give advice to somebody na, Jaimie, I don't know how to make my own opportunities. Ano pa yung sasabihin mo sa kanila?
Start with the connections you have. I doubt na wala sila. Or like, I don't know, crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
Go to film schools. UP has a film school.
That's true.
Once you start with one, you can ask them, hey, do you have other film friends? You know? So pwede mo go to film schools, go to crowdfunding sites.
Yeah.
You know, we have internet ngayon, so it's a huge thing, you know?
Yeah.
Expect na sometimes, well, a lot of the times, you know, they won't reply.
Yeah.
But at least you're being active. At least you're trying to look for something. You're slowly see. Sometimes yung mga emails na they suddenly reply to you after 5 months or something. I get emails like that. It's like,
wow.
Oh my, like February na. Tapos sabihin nila sa akin, yeah, you sent me an email last November. So,
wow.
Okay talaga. Tagal na. So, alam mo yun.
It just pops up when you least expect it.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Keep sewing lang. Keep sewing. Yeah.
The important thing is just to stay committed.
Stay committed, yeah.
And do you think kasi that's also related to music business, right? The idea of like making sure you have multiple revenue streams. I mean, if we're talking about it in business terms, right? Multiple revenue streams and also multiple ways of getting clients or leads.
Yeah,
right?
Parang ganun siya, yeah.
I mean, the businessify the music thing.
Yeah.
And do you think that's something that you learned at IBM? Or is that kind of like, wala lang, just common sense?
Wala lang. Common sense. Kasi ako, resourceful ako. Like, when I think of something, okay, so, I brainstorm by myself. How do I make this happen?
Okay.
How do I make this work? Alam mo yun? So, I think to myself, anong pa pwede? Who do I know?
Yeah.
Tapos pag wala akong maisip na ma-contact ko ngayon, I just keep on like doing social media na advertising myself. Ganyan. Okay, I'm this, blah, blah, blah. Tapos yung pati Instagram ko, na business. Yung payo ko. Music composer. Alam mo yan. Branding yourself.
Yeah.
Ayun.
Yeah. I think it's so, but okay. I wanted to, so we're talking a lot about inspirational stuff, diba? And I read, speaking of your bio and your websites, I read na mahilig ka sa TED Talks.
Yes. Yung ginagawa ko pag wala akong magawa.
Talaga? So okay, 2 questions.
Free time.
What is the most recent TED Talk you watched? And what is your favorite TED Talk of all time?
Okay, recent, nakalimutan ko yung title, but it has something to do with positivity and negativity. How you should shun entirely yung negativity.
Yeah.
Kasi it does, it's still an important aspect in your life. Without negativity, you'd be blindly making decisions. Kasi positive ka, okay lang yan, ganyan. Alam mo yung attitude na yan.
Yeah.
And then you get into trouble kasi you weren't really thinking na these are the consequences of that. And then the other one of my favorites, tama ba favorites? No?
Yes, favorite.
Okay, favorite is also kind of a life changer for me. It's called To School Skill Creativity by Ken Robinson. He also wrote a book.
Elements.
He talked about how there's like hierarchy in school. Yeah. Elements in isa. Yeah. He talked about like in school, mas important in sciences. So if you're not great in the sciences, you would look dumb. And I kind of felt that when I was going to school, not USC, kasi syempre, music na yun so yun na yung ko talaga Pero like, just in general, like, nung high school ako, kasi when you're in high school, like, it's like general, like, you have all subjects. And you sometimes feel like, yung arts is just like an extracurricular thing. It doesn't really measure your intelligence kind of thing. And yun nga, may hierarchy, like nasa above yung sciences. So kapag mataas yung test scores mo sa sciences, matalino ka. In which hindi ka naman talaga magaling sa sciences. So paano yun? So iisipin mo all your life na stupid ka.
Yeah.
Tapos parang may nabasa ako, or narinig, I don't know, na quote before na everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. So, parang ganun ako, na ako yung isda na sinasabi ng school, you climb it. If you can't climb it, you're dumb. Pero, alam mo yun, after a while, na-overcome ko din naman siya.
Yeah, and you found your place. Actually, I have that.
It's creative.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have that book in my bookshelf, actually. So
yung elements?
Yeah, yung elements.
Yeah. Ken Robinson is great.
He is, yeah. And I really like what he said. Yeah, exactly what you said. Na schools sometimes kick the creativity out of you, like especially with testing.
Yes.
Diba?
It doesn't really teach you a lot. It just teaches you to memorize.
So if we were to revolutionize...
Hindi ako magaling sa I think. Hindi ako magaling sa memorization. I just do stuff.
Yeah. So if we were to revolutionize schools, what would you... How would we revolutionize it to make it more pro-creativity?
Hindi ko pa naisip yun. Honestly. Kasi hindi ako educator. Mahirap. Pero I think everything should be equal. Tsaka you have like yung specializations depending on what you're actually good at. But yeah, yung may isa rin akong quote na naalala that Ken Robinson said na, kasi I had this fear of failure and I don't like making mistakes and whatever. Pero sabi niya, like, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. Just kind of it was a powerful quote for me as someone who creates, you know, as someone who composes music. Kasi dati naisip ko, sabi ko, baka parang ang daming stuff sa head ko na it's just like, na parang, nakaka-intimidate mag-compose or whatever. Parang, hindi mo magkakamali ka or something like that. So, parang it released me dun sa prison of intimidation and insecurity.
Yeah. I love that. Thanks for sharing that quote. Yeah, because it's so true. Na it's only naman when you experiment and try different things.
Yeah.
The only way that you'll be willing to experiment is if you're willing to be wrong.
Yeah.
Diba?
Exactly.
So is that something that you do often in your work? Like, how do you experiment? Is it sort of like, do you do that? And paano?
Tatry lang ako na kung ano-ano.
Right, I remember the strategy. Try lang ng try.
Try lang ng try.
Yeah.
Try lang ng try. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. General lang talaga.
So is your creative process sort of like ganon? Like, let's try this. Let's add this.
Yeah. Also, like, probably 70% of the time, it's just like staring at my screen. Thinking. Like, ano ba pwede? Hindi ko maisip. So, magtitry ako magluluto na lang ako. Gagawa ko na ibang stuff. Kasi wala akong maisip. Pero it's true. It's like, that's the creative life is. Sometimes you have something, sometimes you don't. You know? It's funny that someone... whenever someone asks me the creative process ko, yun lang yung naisip ko. It's like, you really wanna know?
Yes, I do.
Kasi like 70%, 75% of the time, titig ka lang. But like, someone asked me before to record a video of me working.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, para lang malaman daw nila yung creative process ko. So, parang ako, oh no, ilang oras din ako nakatitig lang.
Walang nangyayari.
Walang nangyayari. I'm not procrastinating. I'm not a procrastinator, but the ideas are still like kind of like forming in my head.
Yeah.
You know, and the way to get to that good idea, you have to have bad ideas first.
Yes.
So you have to like experiment a lot. Try this, try that. Again, try lang na try.
Exactly.
So, ayun.
Since you say don't procrastinate, diba? Ikaw ba yung tipong like, okay, block time, like from 2 to 3, ito yung gagawin ko. Like, are you super scheduled? Like, what's your, because I don't know, man, as a musician and as a creative, sometimes it's just like so easy to be, manonood na lang ako K-drama or something. Wala akong maisip, manonood na lang akong K-drama.
Hindi ako super particular sa time. But I am particular dun sa deadline. Basta I just have to have something before the deadline.
Okay.
I don't like being late. I can do it anytime I want, but I have to make sure na I have enough buffer time or make contingency. May aware pa ako sa contingencies and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes if yung client, they give me like August 20 na deadline, I would make sure na I'm finished by like 17 or
nice.
something. So I could like go through it again the next day and listen to it with fresh ears.
Yeah.
So, yeah, wala akong specific time. But basta yung days. Basta before the deadline.
Okay. And I just realized this. I think that's so different kasi you, as a composer, you have, let's say, the client.
Deadlines.
Yeah. And deadlines, right? Kasi ako, singer-songwriter, parang music, that world of music, diba? Which is like more the performing aspect. Wala siyang deadline, technically.
Yeah, wala.
Right? There's no deadline. It's just like...
And it's your own music talaga.
Yeah.
Like, nobody tells you what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But why did you I read that also in the Manila article. Why did you decide na composing and not performing? Because I mean, violin, Lindsay Sterling.
I mean, huge I'm a huge Lindsay Sterling fan.
Yeah. She's awesome.
She is. She's amazing.
Super.
She's inspirational.
Yeah.
But ewan ko, I don't really feel like I can do that professionally. I've always had that feeling of wanting to be able to like have many instruments and like play a lot of instruments. But the problem is, syempre, isa lang ako and I can't do it alone. And
yeah,
I didn't grow up na parang
multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, multi-instrumental, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can't be one person and play so many instruments, which is composition. That's, you know, the other people do it for you. And you just have to like tell them what to do. And kasi I grew up classically trained. Kasi yung sa violin, you have to be able to read notes.
Right, yeah.
So I got kind of burnt out with reading, you know, playing someone else's music, like cheap music. Ewan ko, in composition, nakakakilig sa akin eh. When someone else plays my music, like the first time I heard someone play my music, it's a string ensemble at NYU when I had the workshop thing. I went there for a 2-week film scoring program because I want to try it out. Walang workshops in the Philippines. And the first time I heard it, grabe, kinikilig ako. Sabi ko, ito pala yun. Okay, ito na yun. This is it. I want to be a composer. Gusto kong gawin na to.
Yeah.
That's when I know na sabi ko, ito talaga. You know, as opposed to like, you know, performance. Kasi matagal na ako nag-perform. Like, I also play in church. I play in school, you know, lagi ako nasa music org. I made my own music org sa work. And I was one of those people who would organize stuff sa work just so there's a music org and just so we're jamming.
Yeah.
But I never really felt na it was something I wanted to do in the long run. Parang gusto ko lang siya as a hobby. Parang like,
Right. Yeah. Like if the opportunity arises, okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's something now I would ask money for like to perform. So, tsaka sobrang nerve-wracking niya. Feeling ko, mas masaya ako nagko-compose kasi it gives me more time to like think about the music and my own music. I mean, I can make my own music then as a performer, pero I don't want to be limited to one instrument. With the whole orchestra that's like so many people like playing my stuff. So it's like, it feels like me performing, but someone else is performing. Yeah,
but it's your work. Yeah,
but it's my work. It's a bigger scale. It's a huge ensemble. So it makes me, mas kinikilig ako talaga.
Yeah. So
I never really thought that's a performance. Yeah.
So is it like you feel like you're part of something bigger? May ganong feeling.
Yeah.
I love that.
Tsaka, I'm using siya for me. Kasi I get to learn about different instruments and I work with different people in terms of like, is this playable? Ganyan. Marami kasi kailangan malaman eh.
Yeah.
Pag orchestra.
Yeah.
Dami limitations, dami kung ano.
And it's like you have to go into the minds of each of the instruments, right? Like what how many strings and like until what note can this
play? You range niya.
You range niya. And what sounds good with what?
Yeah.
Like you can.
Madami.
Oh. Yeah.
I also like yung unlimited possibilities of synths then. You know, and combining like your orchestra with yung synths and all of that stuff. I just like the drama of it all. And parang generally, film scoring is kind of like a combination of everything I'm interested in. And I like linguistics din kasi. So I like linguistics, psych, philosophy, music and art, visual art. So film is that. It has like its own mind, like yung philosophy niya and yung visuals niya. And then I get to add the music. What's the music do with yung storytelling and all that. So combination siya of all of that.
So you found your like intersection, basically.
Yeah.
In film composing. That's so great. Okay. What is your like dream project in the future?
Oh my God. A24 Films. A24 is a company, entertainment company. Parang Disney ganyan. But medyo experimental sila. That's why I kind of like them. Not kinda, I really do like them. A24, please hire me.
Putting it out there.
Yeah. They did Midsommar.
Okay.
Machina ba yun? Machina. Ladybird.
Yeah.
Ladybird.
Yeah.
Moonlight.
All the Oscar-winning stuff.
Those. Yeah. The Lighthouse. Waves. Ano pa ba? Dami siya. Type niya A24. Google niya A24.
So they're a production
kind of,
company?
Yeah. They produce, they distribute. Yeah.
So why is it because parang gusto mo yung is it the direction that they're taking?
They are ewan ko, parang they're a bit more experimental than usual. I can't say kasi the type of composing I do is like grand genre style kind of thing because I'm a bit more experimental. I think my music would fit great with their stuff. They also do like tons of horror then, in which I like doing horror and drama, and they have tons of drama and horror stuff. Yeah. So I hopefully I would
yes, why
someday
not? Try lang ng try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also did 8th grade.
8th grade?
Yeah.
Docu?
I haven't watched it. I think it's a narrative. Yeah. But I know I've heard of it a lot. Uncut Gems.
I think I've heard of that.
It's on it's on
Netflix.
Hulu sa Philippines.
Yeah, ito yung this is the one with what's his face? Adam Sandler. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Yeah.
Okay, I will cut it there. Only because I swear I have so many more questions. Oh, I really enjoyed talking to you, Jaimie. It's really fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed that conversation I had with Jaimie. I know it ended a bit abruptly because I was suddenly very conscious of the time. I was like, oh no, I'm going to keep her for so long and we're going to be talking about things forever. But if you did enjoy this episode, then please do follow us on Spotify, on iTunes, and if you would like to subscribe on YouTube, please do and leave a comment down below. And also, if you would like to leave us a review, then it'll help other people find the podcast as well. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and I will see you next week for another episode and also another YouTube video. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye. See you next time. Bye-bye.